He's talking the midterm elections coming up on November 8th with Larry Woods and Scottie Hughes. Let's take a look at the races in Tennessee. Scottie, all of our governors who had a chance to be able to seek a second term, four-year term, have been elected dating back to Lamar Alexander. Is that pretty much the case for Bill Lee? Is he pretty much going to have a cakewalk on November 8th?
We'll just look at the elections right now, the campaign trail. Bill Lee is doing a decent job. You see a sign every once in a while, maybe a commercial here and there, but absolutely, this is going to be another re-election term for Governor Lee. Some of the things which have erupted, the negative points from the last 4 years, those weren't enough to take the governor down, and so he feels pretty good, I think, just sliding right into his second term.
The Democratic candidate, Larry, Dr. Jason Martin, he's almost unknown. He's terribly underfunded. Democrats have not won a statewide race in Tennessee since Phil Bredesen was reelected in 2006. That's 16 years ago.
That's right.
Will the Democratic Party ever be competitive in this state again for a statewide race?
Yes, they will be again.
In our lifetime?
I'll bet money on it. Money's the key. No Democrat's going to win a statewide election unless they either self-fund or can convince the DNC to fund it, and that's not going to happen at the DNC. So the first problem for the Democrats is money. The second problem is they just can't get any good PR going for them. And I wish people voted on merits and voted on substance, but we all know they tend to vote on PR and how organized the campaigns are, and that's just not happening for my Democrats.
But when the Democrats give us someone like a Governor Phil Bredesen that is more conservative than the conservative that we've had in the governor's office, then you might have a chance.
Oh yeah.
But that would be like saying that you're going to have a Republican governor of Oregon one day. Well, or California at this stage. You just, you know, it's a far-fetched off.
And look at California 20 years ago. It was Republican more so than Democrat. So things change fast in our high communication society.
Scott, let's talk about the new districts here in Tennessee, particularly in this area, the Nashville area. There's three congressional districts involving Davidson County. The one in the 5th district, Andy Ogles, the former mayor of Murray County, is a Republican nominee. He had a fairly contested primary, spent some money to do that, put some TV on. It almost like he went into hibernation after that. Not much TV, not much of anything else. Did he just go into glide path, thinking he's got this made?
Well, it is. The district was drawn to be Republican. I don't think anybody can debate that. That was going to lean that way. And his primary, he was still the front runner from the very beginning for the whole case. So he can sort of glide in. But let's also remember there is a lot of debt within that campaign, both his personal loans they took out at the end of the primary. So money is coming in. I just don't know if he necessarily feels like he needs to be spending it at this stage. Because basically it is. Donald Trump still came in. He won his campaign for president 2016 being outspent 4-1. He lost in 2020 when he actually spent money, if that tells you anything. So I think Andy Ogles thinks his message alone is enough to sell him to the voters of Williamson County without putting out a slick ad.
Larry, what's the impact of Randy Stamps, a longtime Republican lawmaker and state party official who's come over and endorsed Heidi Campbell, the Democratic nominee in that? Is that is that more of that inside split between in the Republican Party, or is there something else going on?
Definitely. I represent the State Employees Association for 30 years. I know him well. Randy Stamps is a great guy, even if he is a Republican.
I think he's more your party than mine at this stage. I think we'd hand him over to Democrats.
Right, but he'll have a big influence on how state employees vote. I'm not sure once you get past Nashville and the fringe of Williamson County, how many state employees. We've got some in Columbia, Murray County, Giles, but not a lot. So yeah, Stamps is going to help Heidi Campbell. Not a great deal though, and I agree with probably everything she said about what Ogles is up to. Ogles is just a coward. He won't accept any joint speaking appearances. He won't debate. He won't do any of this, and he's going to get away with it, I think.
I don't know about coward. I think if you've seen Andy Ogles debate, I think he could handle Heidi Campbell very easily. That's not the issue. But why lower yourself? Why bring you to that point? And we see that time and time again. Unless it was actually a contentious debate, we're seeing it with Kerry Lake in Arizona as a governor's. If there's actually, you know, if there was a real chance there. But let me say this about Randy. Let's not forget that contentious primary you were talking about. Randy's candidate lost. So this is also a little bit bitter that he was involved in one of the campaigns there when they did the debate. He was front row for one of the other candidates that Andy Ogles beat. So this is still a little bitter, and Randy being reminded once again, as some Republicans are, that their candidates continue to lose because they're not in touch with the actual voter of the district.
Quick response from both of you. The Republican supermajority redrew all these lines for the state legislature. it'll continue to be a Republican supermajority, maybe the same, maybe a seat or two either way.
It's going to continue to be a supermajority for the Republicans in both the House and the state Senate of Tennessee.
And every other elected, state office probably outside of Shelby County and Metro Davidson.
It's an dominance, actually, Scottie, that is even more than what the Democrats used to have. I mean, they had a big one, but not this long, and not.
But notice history is repeating itself. The state legislature having exactly the same problems under Republican control that it had under my Democrats when they were in charge 20 and 30 years ago.
And you can think
nothing changes.
That's true, but you can also think it's the outside powers, because there's states like Florida, Tennessee, Texas that all the Republicans are moving to because they're being pushed out of their very liberal states of Illinois and California, and they're coming here. So it's only getting deeper red here in these states, which means that they're losing some of that red outside of the state borders.
Scottie Hughes, thank you for joining us. Larry Woods, as always, thank you for joining us. It's going to be an interesting night, as it always is, on November the 8th. Maybe not as interesting here in Tennessee, but nationally for sure. And thank you. We'll have you back in the future to talk about this. And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. We'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, you can go to News 505 website. You'll find my Capitol News commentary there. New commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.